So it had to happen, didn't it? We have to cover this Championship Manager into Football Manager 2024. We're going to take the wildly popular Championship Manager 0102
Heritage.
That's right, folks. Today's tactic that we'll be flipping back into Football Manager 2024 is the legendary Iodine. And then our first league game of the season brought about one of the most dominating performances I've ever had in Football Manager 24. So here we go then. This one is nowhere near as mad looking as some I've seen, but later on in the video you'll get this one and we'll see how that one does. So first off, let's do the... Wait a minute, where's my hat? Where was I? Let's do the shape. So it's a pretty easy one, this, and looking at it, it's basically a version of a diamond. So if we drop these two back in there like that, then we've got our front three, which is what we need. We've got a holding midfielder in there like that, two central midfielders, Bob's your uncle. That is the shape. Now we do have a couple of the legendary CM arrows pointing forward on our attacking midfielders, so we'll investigate that further, but it's obviously a choice of shadow striker or perhaps an attacking midfielder. Now, although this tactic looks pretty basic, the reviews that I've found all over the internet about it basically say it's the bee's knees, and I'm gutted because I used to play CM 0102 back in the day and I don't think I tried this shape. So for today we've got a couple of resources that I've used to help me build this tactic. The first is this YouTube channel by TGR, that's Gaming Robo. I couldn't find the man on Twitter and I don't have Facebook, but go and give him a subscribe. He does loads of retro stuff and he's been very helpful, his videos, in helping me build this tactic. And the second is this Championship Manager forum. Both links will be in the description. Now let's get to it. So this is one of his videos and it's about him using this tactic, and what I think is interesting about CM 0102 is you can see the overview of the tactic, but you've also got with ball and without ball, something a lot of FM players have been dying for. And in fact, if I move this video on, it shows you what it's like with ball. So different sections, it shows you what part of the pitch you're in and what it looks like with the ball. This is without ball. So at that section of the pitch, for example, your players are all going to be there. Pretty mad stuff. So now we have our shape. Now it's time for those team instructions, and there's not that many in CM 0102 or the basic simple life. So what we've got is mentality, attacking, passing short, tackling harder, pressing yes, offside trap yes. Even back then they liked the gegenpress style. Let's transfer that into the game. There we have it. The basics are done now. We've got our basic team instructions. We'll add to some to make it a bit more FM24 friendly, but not many. Next up, and very useful, he goes through each player instruction for each player. So that's the keeper, for example, pretty basic stuff. We don't have to worry about that. But as you can see, that is a fullback. What he's got there is passing staying the same, tackling staying the same, so we don't have to add anything to that. But he does have those forward runs, run with ball, cross ball. There is another thing we should probably add as well. You can see that it says long shots, no. Try through balls, no. Very specific. So on the FM realm, we're going to discourage shooting by shoot less often, and with no through balls wanted, let's take fewer risks as well. This is a central midfielder, pretty basic stuff. The only ones added is forward runs and run with ball. So I'm going to keep this pretty vanilla, have both central midfielders on support. I'm just going to add simply get further forward and dribble more to both of them. Now on to the most important positions for this tactic, I think, which is the attacking midfielders. Now what it does say is free roll, no. So we won't be rolling from position, but it does have forward runs, yes. Run with ball, yes. But another thing to make note of, it says long shots no, try through balls no. So we want take fewer risks on there as well, I think. And having take fewer risks will probably rule out shadow striker because they have naturally hard-coded take more risks. So we're going to go attacking midfielder on attack.
2,000 years later.
So I've gone away, I've done it on each position, and this is what we've came up with. We have added a couple of team instructions, just a couple. The only ones I've added to in possession was whipped crosses and play out of defence. That's it. In transition, I've just decided where the keeper's going to give the ball. Other than that, it's as basic as you like. So I'm going to click through these play instructions, and what you'll notice is that nearly everybody's got take fewer risks on, because these are the guys on CM 0102 who weren't attempting the through balls. So now all that's left to do is to see how this tactic fares in its updated version in FM24. Early signs were good with a pre-season draw against mighty Liverpool. And then our first league game of the season brought about one of the most dominating performances I've ever had in Football Manager 24. Like seriously, look at that domination. Not a shot. I was intrigued how it looked in match, and it looked pretty solid. When the ball's on one side of the pitch, for this example the right hand side, one of the attacking midfielders pushes on and the other one sits next to the defensive midfielder. I love that. And then as you go forward, you can see you've got a bit of whip coming from your wing back, and then you've got the creativity of the two attacking midfielders with your focal point up front just ready to capitalise. We did get dumped out of Europe early, but look at the state of the match. We should have battered them. We were even more dominant in the home leg. Despite that disappointment, the league campaign was pretty elite, including beating Galatasaray, a good away draw at Fenerbahce, which we were unlucky not to win, and on occasion some truly freak results. All that led to us winning the title with Besiktas with 93 points. But most impressively is without doubt the goal difference. We only lost 3 matches all season, scoring 105 times and only conceding 26. As for the team, look at that chemistry. My oh my, that performed outstandingly. And I was most impressed by the fact that these two central midfielders don't have any go wider things like that, which you'd expect when you play narrow. But when one went forward, the other one sat. Beautiful. And if you look at the squad stats for the season, so I've got it in average rating order. It's all over 7 pretty much, and you can see goal scoring wise 30, 27, 23, 12, and if I put it in assists order, you've got 20, 15, 10, 22. It's fair mad to me that tactics from 20 plus years ago can still give you a good idea on what to build for FM24. Normally at this point in the videos in the series, I look at the tactic and think, right, how could we actually improve it? But I'm not sure on this one. So Iodine was a resounding success, but what about this other one I found? Yeah, this isn't going to end well, is it? Pretty apparent that super narrow tactics were the in thing in CM 0102, but how the hell do we make this work? I stumbled across this one on YouTube. This is JC Pro Evo. I'll put his link down below as well. And he just made a short video, literally 2 minutes, on this tactic. So I've no idea if it's good, bad, but it's definitely ugly. Thankfully, he went through every player position as well and included the personal instructions like pressing there, for example. He's only got one of the centre-backs pressing, which is the middle one, which we both know that's going to be a libero. The other two, he's got closing down less. So we'll go through all these player instructions again and we'll stick it into FM. And this is what we came up with. It looks ridiculous. How this is going to work, I don't know. But there's the libero, the only one of the 3 that actually does any pressing. The other 2 taking fewer risks, closing down less. There's a lot of taking fewer risks going on here, as you can see. Randomly, this guy does more risks, and you've got 3 attacking midfielders taking more risks, and then 1 shooting. I'm worried about this one. But wait a minute, after our first game of the season, should I have been worried? We absolutely battered Adana again. And only just lost to Leon again. It's pretty similar. It wasn't long till the interesting scorelines came out. How about this 7-3? And when we played one of the big boys, I was worried, especially when we went 2-0 down super early. But the boys then went nuts and absolutely battered Galatasaray. Goals were coming from all angles, and we ended up scoring 6. Whoa. We've got to be super narrow, right? When we've got the ball, we look a bit like that. It's all over the place. And remember, one of these players, number 12, is our libero, jumping into midfield. When we lose it, we get back into some sort of shape. We're an overall position of that. I mean, gaps. Unsurprisingly, there was goals all over the place in this tactic. Galatasaray did get their revenge, but we did beat Fenerbahce. And I was staggered to see at the end of the season, we finished 3rd, only 6 points off the top. Way better than I thought we would do. I thought we'd be sacked, but we finished 3rd. They scored 112 times and they conceded 72, but they were always going to. Overall for the season though, a plus 51 for in clear-cut chances, which is wild. Now what I am interested in on this page is how they conceded the goals. So if you look at the last 35 matches in the league, we can see 12 from crosses, 12 from through balls. I thought crosses would be way more, to be honest. That formation's nuts. You're basically playing 2 at the back with no wide because he plays up here like that. And it still did alright. Once again, what today has taught me is we can go back to old football managers and get a bit of inspiration. I'd love to know how you make this one work properly though.